All right, so we back in the word again. We was in Ecclesiastes 4 and 4. It said again, I consider all travail, all the hell that we catching as Israelites, and every right work that's being done that's right in the eyes of the Most High. That for this a man is envied of his neighbor. For doing what's right, a man is envied of his neighbor. Envy. Jealous of his neighbor. Jealous of another man doing the work that he's doing. You can do the work yourself. We're a body. Everybody's not going to do the same work. You know, when you look at the body of a Mashiach Yahushua, there's many members to the body. That's why you use an analogy of the body. Do you know how many body parts there are in our bodies? You could be any part. You could be the liver. You could be the inner organs. You could be the heart. You could be the lungs. You could be the eye, the nose, just one nostril. The lips, the ears, one ear. Different parts of the body. You could be the finger. You could be the baby toenail. You understand? But you're still part of the body. We as a nation. That's why it says, everybody has something to do, all the way down to just helps. It's someone that just helped. That could be right there for helping. And have a great spirit. That's why I say a right work. Again, I consider all travail and every right work. That for this a man is envy of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit, you know? Vanity is worthless. It has no merit. It's useless for you to do this. And vexation of spirit. You sitting there, you're doing nothing but hurting yourself, really. When you envy someone, you hurting yourself. You're not hurting them. This is what it says you in Ecclesiastes 30 and 21. It says, give not over thy mind to heaviness. Hear that? It say vanity and vexation of spirit. You vexing your own self. It say, give not thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel, the way you think, jealous of someone. It says, the gladness of the heart, the gladness of the mind is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. You know? So you can't be happy in being jealous of someone and envious of someone. You're not happy. You're sad. So it's telling you the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So if you are being out of shape, sad and jealous of someone, that takes energy. That takes energy to be like that. You're going to shorten your days and you're going to be sick. Love thine own soul, it says, and comfort thy heart. Comfort your mind. Remove sorrow far from thee. Because you're not happy being jealous of someone. For sorrow has killed many. Hear that? Sorrow has killed many. That's why it says vexation of spirit. Vexation of your spirit. Being jealous of someone. It says, for sorrow have killed many, and there is no profit therein. That's why it says, is vanity and vexation of spirit. Ain't no profit in being jealous of someone. Envy and wrath shorten the life. There it is, point blank. Envy, just go right into jealousy, shorten the life. Can't be no clearer than that. And carefulness bringeth age before the time. Carefulness, you careful to make sure that you're doing what's wrong. You're jealous of somebody that's doing right work. Some of you don't understand spiritually what it is that we got to deal with to make it to the kingdom. You don't have the right understanding. That's why you vexed in your spirit. And the way you think is vanity. That's why Ecclesiastes 3:24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion overthrow their judgment. It's evil to be jealous of someone. And it's going to shorten your life. We just read it. Now, we had a law when a husband is jealous of his wife, thinking that she done went out and laid with another man. And maybe she did, maybe she didn't. So let's look at this law of this particular situation. Go to Numbers, the 5th chapter, and let's start at verse 11 down. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, if any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, go aside and commit a trespass against him. Right? And a man lie with her carnally, have sex with her, have sexual intercourse with her, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, he don't know about it, and be kept close, and she be defiled. So let you know that's adultery. She be defiled. And there be no witness against her, nobody else know about it, neither she be taken with the matter. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him. The spirit of jealousy come upon her husband. This is when we had our own kingdom to be able to bring forth our laws, as it is written. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him, who was her husband. The spirit of jealousy come upon her husband, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, meaning she done slept with another man, outside from sleeping with her husband. She's committed adultery, and she be defiled. You know, that woman becomes defiled. Or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled. And she didn't do anything. She didn't sleep with another man. But he still got the spirit of jealousy on him. Just what we did. Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her. Bring an offering to her. The offering is this, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy. It's the offering of jealousy. He done brought her before the priest, accusing her of sleeping with another man, committing adultery. An offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance, bringing wickedness to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Most High. Like I say, everything we do is in word or deed is going before the Most High by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. That's how we set her before the Most High. That's how everybody goes to the Most High. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle, the priest shall take and put it into the water. Taking the dust from the floor of the tabernacle, put it in the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Most High and uncover the woman's head. Then you know the woman would have a covering on her head. And put the offering of memorial in her hands. So he put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causes the curse. So it's bitter water that causes the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causes the curse. So if you haven't done anything, you haven't laid with another man, you're going to be free from this bitter water that causes the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another, you laid with another man, you had sexual intercourse with another man, committing adultery instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, then you know if a woman go outside her husband, she's defiled. And some man have lain with thee besides thine husband. If another man lay with you besides your husband, her husband, Then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing. And the priest shall say unto the woman, the Most High make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Most High does make thy thigh to rot and thy belly to swell. Wow. So your thigh gonna rot and your belly gonna swell. And belly gonna swell up and the thigh gonna rot. And this water that causes the curse shall go into thy bowels to make thy belly to swell and thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, okay. So I'm gonna deal with that word because that's Babylonian God. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causes the curse. So he's going to cause her to drink this water, bitter water that causes the curse. And the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. The water that causes the curse, she drink it, it's going to become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand and shall wave the offering before the Most High and offer it upon the altar. You're going to take the drink of the bitter water that causes the curse from her and put it on the altar. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causes the curse, and the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand and shall wave the offering before the Most High and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take an handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar. And afterward shall cause the woman to drink the water. She got to drink this again. And when he have made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled and have done trespass against her husband, meaning slept with another man, committed adultery, that the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter, and her belly shall swell. Can you imagine this? Her belly start to swell, got a big stomach. And her thighs shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. Now, you look at a woman, she must know that laying with another man, and his sperm gets in her, and her husband's sperm gets in her, that's a funky smell. That's a real bad smell. When a woman that's laying around with different men. You know, and this is what I can think of, you know, say her thigh gonna rot, it's gonna be nasty smelling. Filthy McNasty. Because you're not supposed to do that. The Most High didn't make a woman like that, to do that. She's with one man, she's with that man. But if she's been with another man, the smell that she have is really gonna stand out. So like you said, her thigh rot, yeah, she gonna be funky. She gonna start stinking. And if the woman be not defiled, now she didn't lay with anyone, but be clean, then she shall be free and shall conceive seed, get pregnant. This is the law of jealousies. When a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband and is defiled. You know, that's adultery. If a woman that is married lay with another man, that's jealousy. That's adultery. And her husband had to feel something to be able to bring her there in front of the priest and say that she have done this. But what if she did? Verse 30, or when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, the man is jealous over his woman, his wife, and shall set the woman before the Lord, before the Most High, as we done heard in these passages of the law of jealousy, of a man in a woman that's married, or when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Most High, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. See, through all the things that we just read that he would give her in drinking the jealousy offering, then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. Now, if she didn't do the act of adultery, sleeping with another man, sometimes that man be beat with 39 stripes, less one. She take her to her daddy, be like, here the chastity card. Say, I got it right here. Boop. You got an ace in the hole right here. And I gave my daughter to him as a virgin. And here it is. He's accusing her. So, yeah. There's a consequence behind being wrong too. For the man. Look at because the Most High told us this too. Go to Deuteronomy 32 and 21. Pertaining, we the children of Israel and the Most High. It says, they have moved me to jealousy. So we as the children of Israel move the Most High to jealousy with that which is not the Most High. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. Things that has no merit, that's worthless. Confusion. He said, I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. Hear that? He gonna move us to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with the foolish nation. So some people, the Most High, you can look at it however you want to look at it. Because understand this, human initially means monster beings. But he told us that we are people. But he said he's going to provoke us to jealousy with those which are not a people. In the eyes of the Most High. It has nothing to do with the way you think or I think or anyone else think. He's saying he's going to provoke us to jealousy or move us to jealousy with no people. He said, I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. Foolish nation, he said. So, just to show you that we the Israelites are a people, go to Psalms 148 and 14. This is what we did to the Most High. Psalms 148 and 14. He also exalted the horn, which is the power of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. So who are we in the eyes of the Most High? A people. See? But he said he's going to provoke us, he's going to move us to jealousy with a no people and provoke us to anger with a foolish nation. He said he also exalted the horn, which is the power of his people, the praise of all his saints. This also proves who the saints are in the Bible. Who are we? A people near unto the Most High. Praise ye the Most High. So we are people, the 12 tribes of Israel. But he said he's going to move us to jealousy with the no people. No people. So what are they? I don't know. You have to figure that out. What's that say? They no people in a foolish nation. One way they foolish. Look at Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. But fools, a foolish nation, right? Provoke us to anger with a foolish nation. But fools despise wisdom, the proper application of knowledge, how to apply this Bible in your life. It's the main thing we got to do. We learn it, we live it, but to apply it is the hardest thing for our people to do. And those that are fools. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. You can't tell them nothing. That's how you know a fool. You can't tell them nothing. And like I say, you say you're going to move us, jealousy, with the no people. And you're going to provoke us to anger with the foolish nation. Come on. We living it. We in it right now. You can't see that. I don't know where your eyes are. We got to know who we working with. Who is our power. And who's my power. Go to Exodus 34 and 14. But thou shalt worship no other power. For the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, whose name is jealous. You hear that? Whose name is jealous. It's a jealous power. Understand this, overstand this. He told us over and over again. Why do you think we went through the changes that we went through, Israel? Yasharallah. He told us, he said, in Exodus, the 20th chapter, he said in verse 3 down, he said, thou shalt have no other gods, which is idols, before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High, thy power, am a jealous power. He just told you that his name is jealous. He's a jealous power. Visiting the iniquity, the wickedness, the sins of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And you can't say you love him if you're not going to do what he say do. Care how you look at this. You got to know his law, statute, commandments. This, he said, do this. This is what you got to do. Don't do this. You can't do it. He said, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me. This is how you love them and keep my commandments. Period. That's how you show you love him. Keeping his commandments. Doing what he say do. So let's look at Ezekiel, the 8th chapter. I mean, we didn't listen. That's why we in the situation that we in now. But we coming out of it. Because we coming back to the Most High's glorious commandments, being baptized by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua first and foremost, and keeping the law, statute, commandments of the Most High, and spiritually coming out of this. Ezekiel, the 8th chapter, and let's start at verse 1. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house. So look at this, how the Most High count days and months and so forth. And it came to pass in the 6th year, and in the 6th month, starting from New Year starts between the 3rd month and the 4th month of Esau's Julian calendar. So you count from there. Sometimes the first of the year is in the 3rd month that we know of this day. Sometimes it's in the 4th month, either or. And you count from there, 6 months. So it's the 6th year in the 6th month in the 5th day of the month. Hear that? The 5th day of the month. Not whatever name that they call, that you call them, whatever you call these days of the week. Mosiah said, be circumspect and don't call on other names of other gods. It says, and that's what you're calling on when you call on these days of the week. You see here, he's saying, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Most High power fell there upon me. Right? Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness of the appearance of fire. the likeness of the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward, fire, from his loins even downward, fire, and from his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber, which is brown. So he's saying fire from his loins up, from his loins down. And he put forth the form of an hand and took me by a lock of mine head. So he had locks, had his head locked up, braided. And the Spirit lifted me up between, because when you braid your hair, three strands of hair, you lock it up and you can unlock it. And he put forth the form of an hand and took me by a lock of mine head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the visions of the Most High power to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate. Now this is a vision. The Most High speaking visions and dreams. To the door of the inner gate that looked toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoketh to jealousy. Hear that? The image of jealousy, which provoketh to jealousy. He said this in a vision. And behold, the glory of the Most High of Israel was there, according to the vision that I saw in the plain. See? And when you look at the glory of the Most High, Mashiach Abishai said this before they crucified him. Go to John 17 and 5. And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. So you look at the glory of the Most High. He said he was with the Most High before the Most High made the world, through a Mashiach Yahushua as an angel. You see? So that's what you got to understand. A lot of people can't understand it because it's spiritual. He said he come in the volume of the book is written of him. The glory that he had with the Most High before the world was. I mean, we as Israelites know Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning of the powers created the heavens and the earth. Verse 2 says, and the Spirit of the Most High moved on the waters. I tell you in Ephesians 3 and 9 that Most High created all things by Mashiach Yahushua. And a couple of other places it tells you. So look at, go to Romans, the book of Romans. We're not supposed to be jealous of anything. I mean, I don't understand how people could be jealous of someone. But go to Romans 13 and 13. Let's read verse 12. It says, the night is far spent. The day is at hand. Meaning the day of the kingdom is coming. We in nighttime now, darkness, people in gross darkness. But the day is coming. It's at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, cast off the works of ignorance, confusion, of not knowing spiritually what this Bible is talking about, that our names can be written in the book of life. A lot more besides knowing that we are Israelites, believe this. There are mysteries that's here that we must look at and find out what works with the Most High. You know, a lot of men just looking at how a man look at you, that's not important. And some, like we just said, you know, some are jealous of other men because their work. No, this is about learning, living, and applying in our life. We know in part, we prophesy in part. And the part that you can receive that's going to benefit the nation, you should be taking heed to, period. all of us. It says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, cast off the works of ignorance, and let us put on the armor of light. Hear that? Protection of keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments. Protection that we get through our big brother, Mashiach Yahushai, who is that light. As an example, our ammunition to show us that it can be done. Because he did it. Came in his mortal flesh and had to deal with everything that everybody else deal with. Temptation and so forth. First thing, when he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he told you in Matthew the 4th chapter and Luke the 4th chapter, the devil came and tempted him. You know, we got to deal with the same thing, but how did he combat? How did he rebuke the devil? By the law of the Most High. So are you saying that we're not under the law? You're not rebuking no devil. You rolling with him. He laughing at you, talking about rebuke you, and next thing you know, you in it. You back to normal, rolling with him. But the Mashiach Shai showed us, every time he did something or said something to me, he went straight to the law of the Most High. Then he had to leave him alone. Because he on the left side, the Mashiach Shai on the right side, and that's what we're supposed to be on the right side, right with him. He's as an example. He came here to be an example. He gave us an example, what works, and it works. He said, that's why you put on the armor, that's protection of light. The law allow the Most High to protect you because you love him. He said, you love me, what he just told us. Keep my commandments. Keep the laws. Do what I say do. Follow my rules and regulations. And it works. He said, let us walk honestly, as in the day. Honestly, in keeping the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Because in daytime, it's light. It's hip talk. Not in rioting, in drunkenness, nor in chamberings, in wantonness, not in strife and envying, not in arguing and envying someone or being jealous of someone. That's wrong. But put ye on Mashiach Yahushai and be Mashiachim. Be the Messiahs and make not provisions for the flesh, your carnal mind, your feelings that has nothing to do with thus say the Most High's word. To fulfill the lust thereof. Hear that? Lust, your desires, that's off. You're not supposed to be going back and forth with each other. We are all we have. This is what we have to do. Straight up. Look at Numbers 25, the 25th chapter. Numbers 25. Numbers the 25th chapter. We dealing with jealousy, y'all. Numbers 25 and we'll start at verse 1. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. So the people start committing whoredom with the daughters of Moab, the Chinese, indigenous Chinese. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods. That's why the Most High told us in Deuteronomy 7:3. He said, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Why? For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. See? Other idols. Well, he told you in Psalm 96:5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. See? So now here we are, as the Israelites, always doing something contrary to the way the Most High told us we're supposed to be. His rules and regulations, his laws, statutes, commandments. Numbers 25, verse 1 down. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab, with the daughters of the Chinese. When he told us not to do it, so, oh, they didn't say Chinese, those are Africans. Okay, so it's Africans there, right? Let's go into the Apocrypha. And let's go to, it's easy to do, let's go to 1 Ezra, the 8th chapter. Let's look at verse 69. Verse 69. It says, the nation of Israel, the princes, the priests and Levites have not put away from them the strange people. Hear that? The strange people. Like the Most High said, don't have marriages with them, right? So look at these strange people of the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles. So he say to be with these other nations, you pollute it. You pollute yourself. Pollutions of the Gentiles, to wit, of the Canaanites, all these are so-called Africans, Hamites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, and that's, if you read Deuteronomy 7, 1 down, we went right to 3, but if you read down, these nations are named. They are Hamites, or so-called Africans, right? It said, the nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, and the Levites, have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles. It's saying, to wit, of the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, all these so-called Africans, Hamites, right? So, it's going to start naming them. We're looking for Moabites or Moab. All of them are called Moabites. So it says, to wit, of the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, and the Moabites. See that? Moabites, just like we reading in Numbers, the 25th chapter. The so-called Chinese, indigenous, I might say. Egyptians, most so-called Africans, Hamites, and Edomites, indigenous so-called white people. For both they and their sons have married with their daughters, and the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land. And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity, of this wickedness, of this sin. And as soon as I had heard these things, what Ezra do? I rent my clothes. He tore his clothes, and the holy garment tore the holy garment, and pulled off the hair from off my head and beard. So he tore the hair out of his head and his beard. That hurt. That had to hurt really bad. And sat me down, sad and very heavy. So, look at 1 Ezra 9 and 7. So Ezra arose up and said unto them, said unto all the Israelites that had done this iniquity, ye have transgressed the law in marrying strange wives, thereby to increase the sins of Israel. So, verse 20. And they gave their hands to put away their wives, and to offer rams to make reconciliation for their errors. That's a sacrifice for their sins. What did they do? Verse 36. All these had taken strange wives. You can read all of them, read all the way down. All these had taken strange wives, and they put them away with their children. So they put these other nations that they had married away with their children. That's what happened. So now, going back to Numbers 25 and 1. Now that you know the law, it says, and Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab, the indigenous so-called Chinese. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods. Then Moses said, hey, don't get with them because they're going to turn your mind away from following him. And the people did eat and bow down to their gods. That's what the Moses told us, you know. He told us, he said, look, Exodus 20. It says, verse 3, thou shalt have no other gods, no other powers, no other idols before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. This is the key. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Most High, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So to do this, you hate the Most High. And showing mercy, which is not getting something you do deserve, unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. That's what the mercy coming to. Those that love the Most High by showing him that you love him by keeping his commandments, doing what he say do. So here we go. Back to Numbers 25 and 2. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods. And the people did eat and bow down to their gods. This is our problem. It's no different than what you're looking at right now. Are people arguing with us about you're not supposed to do what the Most High say do, and keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments, and having others follow that heinous, wicked way. And in the end, they're gonna be like what my son was saying, they're gonna be wailing and gnashing of teeth. This is what we have done. Look what happened. These Psalms 106 and 35. But we're mingled among the heathen, like we were mingled among the heathen here, and learn their works. You learn their works. Learn all kind of works that they're doing. You don't know where they originated from. A lot of you don't even follow through. Do any kind of research. But we're mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And they served their idols, these other nations' idols, which were a snare to them. See? This is what's happening. Most High told us in Jeremiah 10 and 2, learn not the way of the heathen. But what are we doing right here? Numbers 25. I mean, come on. We dealing with the laws from Leviticus, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. He's given us the law. And here we are going to follow and bow down to the gods of the Moabites. Numbers 25 and 3. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor. And the anger of the Most High was kindled against Israel. And the Most High said unto Moses, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Most High against the sun. Say, hang them against the sun. Sun shining. Whichever way the sun is shining, the sun rises on the east, let them face the sun, that the fierce anger of the Most High may be turned away from Israel. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, slay ye every one his men that were joined unto Baal Peor. Say, kill them all. That were joined unto this idol, the idol of the Moabites. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitess woman in the sight of Moses. It's a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses, and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. They crying before the door of the tabernacle. And this cat gonna bring a Midianitess woman in the sight of all the congregation, right? And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, saw it,